Hello and welcome to Beat 'em Up Wrestling. We are live and we are reacting to the take-home show of Dynamite as we head into All Out. Today we have JR, the Professor, and Caro, the Duchess of Dynamite.
Hello.
What is happening, everybody?
Nice to have you guys back on so quickly.
Yes. Thank you for having us on.
Everybody.
Yeah. God, my hair. What is my hair doing? Okay. All right. Anyway.
I just shaved my head in honor of John Silver to today. So
You're just like,
see how? Yep. Just look at it. John Silver is my hero.
it looks so clean. It looks so soft, the Jer. So soft.
Shout out to my wife. She's a real one. She's the one that helps me shave it.
Oh, nice. Props to the wifey. Always. All right. So you guys want to get into, because we have 25 different promos that went on today. Vignettes, promos, different things. So I'm just like, man.
It was a little too much.
Yeah. I was like, man, this ticker is getting real long here. So let's just start off with the first match. Good match. A little sloppy in 1 or 2 points.
Yeah, the ref botched the count.
Yeah.
There was actually a 3 count, but we'll just do the Men in Black thing and forget about that.
Somebody explained it to me and said there was a 2 count and then there was another 2 count. I didn't understand.
So it was a 4 count?
Yes. It was, the way they're trying to explain it to me, it was like they were in the rope and the referee stopped and then restarted the count. And I was just, all I know, that whole sequence after they reversed the street sweeper just was, it was just very confusing, and I'm not exactly sure what's going on.
Yeah, I think that miscount there kind of threw off the whole momentum of the match, even for the performers, because they were kind of trying to recover from that.
Well, I mean, even just a hand on the rope. I mean, he was staring straight at them, the line of sight for that camera right there.
Yeah.
It was not disbelievable. It was just he's like, oh, his hand. Dude, come on.
Yeah, he should have just made it seem like he lifted his shoulder or something.
Yeah.
But
they got the win. I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah, it's so bittersweet for me because I love Proud and Power Santana and Ortiz, and I really want them to do more on Dynamite. Granted, what they've been given in the past few months, and they won, but
yeah,
that's how I feel about it. It's just meh.
Yeah, I know. It's like the win you wanted, but then you're like, oh, that wasn't the win I wanted.
Yeah. It's at least they have a win on their record.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
When was the last time they won on Dynamite? It's been a while, hasn't it?
It has.
I thought JR mentioned it during our roundtable. I swear you have. It was a while though. I know it was a couple of months.
Yeah, because I think the other wins were coming on Dark, and so I mean it's pretty big. It's still crazy to me that Sammy and Jericho have been having title shots for the tag team belts, but your actual tag team in the inner circle hasn't.
Right.
So I'm like, I think it's time for them to leave and start.
I have March 18th was the last time they had a win in a 6-man.
See, that's painful.
Wow.
That's painful.
On Dynamite.
That's nearly half a year ago. 6 months.
That's before everybody went on lockdown.
Yeah, that was.
That's how
right
real when everyone went on lockdown.
Yeah, it was. Man, we've been through this whole pandemic as long as them not being able to win.
That's a real pandemic.
Gosh. That's really sad to think about in hindsight.
Yeah. So hey, they got a win! Yay! Hold on. We're gonna celebrate. They got a win.
Wait, I have something here.
Yeah.
If anybody hasn't noticed, this is the Latino connection going on right now. So no one's gonna ruin this vibe for us, all right? No.
Yep.
All right.
So yeah. Next. So we move on to MJF promo. I actually like this one where he started screaming at Mark Sterling. I know JR had a problem with the comedy that they were using with him. I think this one kind of made him look a little bit more serious. I don't know. What do you think, JR?
You definitely see, especially when we get toward the end of Dynamite, the MJF's attitude is picking up. And the reason why, and then we alluded to this, I think last time, was the chicken shit heel versus the braggadocious heel. And it's not that I don't like chicken shit heels. You know, you think like Kip Sabian is like that, for example. But MJF was never portrayed that way until he got attacked from behind by John Moxley. So with this last Dynamite going into All Out, you definitely see more of that fire being lit under MJF, where it's back to the I'm better than you, and I'm gonna prove it.
Yeah, I totally agree,
Right.
and definitely see that full circle at the end too. We'll get to that point.
Yep. Any more thoughts on the promo, guys?
That was pretty
I
good.
love Wardlow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wardlow's
I
always
mean,
great.
they need to do something with him in the sense of like getting him some matches because that dude's a monster.
Like they kind of teased him and MJF like breaking apart like a Double or Nothing, and I'm kind of surprised that they haven't like honed in on that further.
I wonder if I doubt MJF wins the belt, but if he does win the belt, I wonder if Wardlow will rise up in the rankings and challenge for the belt, and that could build some tension between them. Yeah. Because Wardlow kind of looks like he's had enough too. Like even his body language is just kind of like, all right, let me just get this out of the way. Like he's not really, you know, in the beginning he was kind of like loyal to MJF. Now he's just kind of like going with the motions.
A lot of side eye from Wardlow.
Yeah. Well, I just want to bring up a point that somebody was saying was that WWE has a problem booking small guys, and it seems like AEW has a problem booking big guys. We've seen what Brian Cage has gone through, Lance Archer, and Wardlow. You guys think anything about that?
I didn't catch on to that until you mentioned it, and now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, I can see a connection there.
Yeah.
Like I remember because Jack and Maria, you went to Warrior Wrestling like a few weeks ago, and you were able to see Brian Cage, Lance Archer too. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Brian Cage, Lance Archer. Yeah, and it was Jeff Cobb was there. Just a lot of powerhouses, but like the move set and things like this, you don't see. I don't know. It's so lacking, the diversity and like the showmanship of like actually showcasing the wrestlers, specific wrestlers. We really haven't gotten any of that. And I don't even think we're going to get it in the Battle Royale, whatever they're doing. I don't think we're going to get that either from Lance or Brian, which is kind of disheartening a little bit. That's how I feel.
I think it's also tough because when you look at the monsters and you have Wardlow, Lance Archer, and Brian Cage, and this isn't to disparage anybody that's in AEW, but there's a huge size differential, like really significant compared to WWE. Especially when you look at, like the example was like Brian Cage and Darby Allin. And so how do you have them wrestle? Because theoretically, if you want, I know that we're supposed to have suspend disbelief, but if they wrestle like a big man, then somebody like Darby Allin should be eaten up every single time, and he should not be getting any offense. And I think that's the hard part, is that you want to try to make these matches look competitive, and you get in that situation where, especially because they only have one show, with when you have those three guys, Cage and Lance Archer and Wardlow, is how do you position them to look good and not destroy one another? And I also forgot Brody Lee as well. Brody Lee's another big man, a huge big man.
Right.
And so I think right now it's good to have Ward. I mean, I know I want to see him in the ring, but at the same time, it's also good to have him on the sidelines, because if he starts getting some wins, now you're going to have another problem where instead of Brody Lee and Cage and Lance Archer, now you have Wardlow in the mix, where easily all four of those guys could be in contention to be AEW World Champion.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I just want maybe more a highlighted match, like how we got with Wardlow and Luchasaurus and that one opening match and Dynamite. I feel like they haven't even gotten a chance to actually really showcase themselves. And even just in a tag match, it could be like Starks versus, and Brian versus Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. That would just at least give them a moment to shine and show their abilities a little more. Because like I said, if I didn't know who Brian Cage was prior to this, you kind of just don't know what he can do. And it's been months like that. It's been a while. Same thing with Lance. So if you even know him from before in New Japan and stuff, but that's either near or there. But anyways, next.
Speaking of big guys, we got Jurassic Express, Young Bucks versus Private Party and SCU. The stipulation of this match was whoever won this, the team would face each other at All Out. So I don't know about you guys, but as soon as they said that, I was like, okay, Young Bucks and Jurassic Express are winning.
hmm
Yeah.
It's kind of the elite syndrome again taking over, where you see like a member of the elite. And again, this isn't like harping on the Young Bucks or anything, because I'm a Young Bucks fan too. But like Jack said, immediately as soon as I saw that, I'm like, well, we know who's facing each other at All Out then.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because Private Party and SCU could also be a banger of a match at All Out, and that would have been really interesting to see.
I would have liked Private Party and Young Bucks teaming up here and us having a rematch from last year's tag team tournament, because they put on a good match.
Yeah.
And seeing Private Party versus Young Bucks again would have been a treat. We've seen Jurassic Express kind of go with the Young Bucks, and like I like Jurassic Express. I think Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus are stars, but it's kind of, to me, kind of like they're getting a lot of airtime, so they're getting overexposed.
Right.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, no, it would have been a better choice for Private Party and Young Bucks. I mean, that just seems, I don't know, like we just be getting so much of Kenny and, the Young Bucks and the whole Jurassic Express and stuff like that. It's been a lot. We've seen a lot of them on television and not a lot of everybody else. So it could have been nice if we kind of went against the rating system just a little bit. A little bit. Hate it. They're so sticklers to it.
Yeah. I mean, it's All Out, so they don't want to miss it, but
yeah.
All right, so then we go to another promo. This time it's Jake Hager and Orange Cassidy.
I liked it. I thought he was threatening, but he was like that kind of like that bully feeling in school where the big guy comes up to you and bullies you at lunch. That's how I felt like Jake Hager went up to like Orange Cassidy. He's like, "Hey, Jericho wants you watching."
Yeah.
Like it was like really weird. I'm like very slow talking Jake Hager. But I liked it. It was really quick to the point, and it kind of added on to something.
Yeah.
It was pretty standard, like Jake Hager, Orange Cassidy. You know how they act, you know how they behave, so not much to say there, basically.
Yeah.
It's weird how they're building Orange Cassidy to be like a badass now. Like he just slapped Jake Hager's leg off, like. So.
Dude, that slap was super hard. I laughed really. I don't know why I laughed so hard, but that slap was pretty impressive. All right, what do we got next?
So we get Tully and FTR.
Yeah. This was kind of good. What happened? What happened, Carl?
My heart. It went
What?
through a feels trip.
Yeah.
Through that entire thing.
Yeah.
Like. Yeah. It was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah.
Top guy stuff. I mean, I love this. FTR is my favorite tag team in the world right now. And as soon as they got put with Tully, they just got better. It's so reminiscent of, to me, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, and Bobby the Brain Heenan. Tully Blanchard is such a great heel manager that they have. The best one, I actually had an argument. I don't think I told you guys, not an argument, but a discussion with one of my good friends about whatever they do, if they decide to do a Horseman, that Arn Anderson cannot be the manager of the Horseman. It has to be Tully Blanchard.
Yeah.
And because Arn Anderson is so beloved, and they thought that was weird because Arn Anderson has been a heel his entire career. And a lot longer than Tully Blanchard, because Tully Blanchard had, some drug issues going back in the late 80s that kind of derailed his career. And then he became, I believe, a reverend after that. But as soon as he starts cutting promos, from the minute that he joined with Shawn Spears last year for All Out, and then his fiery promo he did earlier this year after Double or Nothing, he's such an amazing heel.
Yeah.
And I think that with Arn Anderson, they wouldn't get that same type of like oomph that Tully Blanchard gives FTR, and potentially the entire, if they do reform the Horsemen. And the Fear the Revelation. I mean, something big is. I feel something big is coming out All Out.
Yep.
I think a lot of people are feeling that way.
I mean. We're kind of happy a little bit, somewhat, most of the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're kind of almost there with what they're doing.
Yeah.
We have our beefs with certain things, but we can't complain about the women's today. Well, we'll get into that though.
Yeah.
But we really have our beefs with things.
Also, like with the FTR jackets, I want like what they're wearing. Those are so badass. I want them to put it on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Like that needs to be on the
Mhm.
shop literally during All Out. Like put that the minute that match goes up, put up those jackets. I can guarantee
Legit
people
buy
just go
one.
scoop them up, just scoop them.
Mhm.
But yeah, what you guys were saying, Tully is a natural heel. It's so believable. It's so passionate, and it's like you don't even want to rally against the bad guys. You want to be on their side. You want to be for that ride. Whatever they're going to demolish, you want to be with them on that ride. So yeah, definitely love FCR right now.
To go on with what JR said, like in the beginning, Jake was like that fiery heel promo guy, and I think I don't know what happened, but Tully kind of like became like next level. Like he raised his game once Jake was delivering those promos, and I think like you said, Tully is right now the top heel manager, and I don't know, like Arn kind of for me was a miss with the whole Cody thing. He just kind of looked like a caricature of a football coach trying to coach in wrestling. But we're gonna get to I think one of the highlights of the night.
So
the
good.
Kenny in-ring promo.
He was like all roller coaster. He comes out and he's like suave, sweet Kenny Omega, pulling everybody's feelings with his shirt, and everybody's like having a mental breakdown and feeling some sort of way and getting all emotional. And then he goes in the ring, and then he gets fiery and he's passionate about his tag team, partner. And then he switches the knob to a different direction, and he's like totally heel, and everybody's cursing. And I'm just like, what is going on? It was literally like this, but it was perfect. It was a perfect Kenny Omega thing.
That entire segment was crazy. It was nuts. Like I literally had to like walk away afterwards and like catch my breath. Cause like this, I am so invested in the storyline. It's really nuts. Cause like they just done a great job with building it up for the past few months. And I have to say that like, that's one of AEW's biggest strengths right now is that particular storyline. And everything just like came together so perfectly. Like the camera framing was fantastic. Like there were some shots that they used and I thought it was perfect in conveying everyone's emotions and how they felt. Great storytelling going on. Like Adam Page just walks out and like his face is like
his eyes, they framed in on his eyes, and it was just so good.
So good. And then the tension with FTR and Adam and Kenny trying to snap him out of it. But then Adam also goes at Kenny. He goes at both FTR and Kenny. So it's just so unpredictable with what's gonna happen on Saturday.
And then the blank, here's the belt. Where are you at? And I'm just like, the camera angle was so good.
Yep.
It's Christopher Nolan, all of like panoramic view. Kenny's not there.
So it was great how FTR pretty much admitted that they're not the ones that told him to do that to the Young Bucks, which kind of leaves is Kenny the puppet master,
the instigator.
I'm so lost in this thing because they can go so many directions right now.
So many,
especially after Young Bucks finished and they left Jurassic Express hanging. They're pissed off and upset, and then we see all the teases, especially with BT, about Kenny is a cleaner coming back, is the best bout machine coming back. Then obviously everything with Hangman is just this is such a combustible situation. And like I said, something significant I think is gonna happen All Out. And it's if you kind of think of All Out as their WrestleMania, this is kind of like the resetting point. Like this is a new calendar year for AEW. So I definitely it's going to be extremely interesting what happens in that match.
Yep.
Kenny's gonna murder everybody.
So
it's going to be wild.
So Joe's agreeing with us with Tully. He has the skills to get himself over on
Absolutely.
Mike, and he also mentions that Arn wasn't good as a manager, but Tully's doing an amazing thing. And I wonder if Sean Spears is going to have anything to do with the match that we're going to be getting on Saturday.
Well, he was out there. He has this like disheartened, disconnected look. He has a very lost look. So I don't know if we haven't seen his place, if he doesn't know his place, how it's going to play out within whatever 4 triangle thing they're starting off with right now. But I'm there for it. It's so much fun to be on the darker side of the the card.
We're about to get a bunch of heel teams if this keeps going on though, because we have FTR potentially with Sean Spears. The Young Bucks are looking like they're about to turn heel too.
I think they'll come back around.
And then Hangman's going to stay babyface. I think Hangman after this Saturday, he's going to be their top babyface because
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say he's gonna be like basically one of the top faces of the company.
Yeah.
If he isn't already, which I think he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to go through this whole alcoholic rehab kind of thing where he's going to realize he had a problem, and it's going to be pulling at a lot of heartstrings, I think, for people that have had alcoholics in their families.
Yeah.
This is interesting with Sean Spears is because on TV, on Dynamite itself, Sean Spears hasn't done anything significant, but he's been winning on Dark. And then we obviously saw that fiery promo at the end of after Double or Nothing, where he was given the Ted DiBiase and the Barry Windham type glove. And so that's the interesting thing, is that where does Sean Spears play a part in this? Because if you think of pre-Double or Nothing Sean Spears, you're like, this guy's a mid card. He's not going to fit in with this Horseman. He's supposed to be, no pun intended, but supposed to be elite. And he didn't fit that mold. So originally I was like, well, Sean Spears is going to be a part of this, whatever happens in the future. But, what we're going to get into this crazy Rumble, but he comes out and I'm like, well, maybe he may fit in. Who knows? I mean, who knows? What if he wins that Battle Royal?
Yeah. I personally think that the fourth member of the Horsemen, if they're whatever brand they're going to call it, it's going to be Cody. I think Cody's going to come back from this thing, and I think Tully and Arn are going to be somehow manipulating everything too. So yeah, I think it's going to be FTR. It's going to be Sean Spears and Cody. I used to think it was Hangman, but Hangman doesn't fit in with the heel team right now. I think Hangman's going to stay babyface.
Hangman deserves to go solo just based on like last week with the shot of the spotlight and what happened this week.
Yeah.
I had this crazy idea after BT. I said, what if we all get swerved and it's Kenny?
See, I've also thought about that too. Like, I've had so many different theories about how the storyline's going to go. And one of my theories is Kenny's one of the Horsemen just to swerve all of us. Yeah. So I can definitely see that.
I wouldn't put Kenny past thinking like, should I go Horseman? Should I even go Dark Order? Should I do something? I could see him writing down possible storylines of where he would think his character would be developed. He looks like that guy.
Yeah.
So like I could definitely, any way we think of right now, I know he's thought of it, and there's actually possibly a pretty damn good storyline to go with it, because he can work anything. He can. Good. He's so good.
And the reason why, if you think of it like, Hangman, it's not this way, but if you look back into the 88, Lex Luger was a part of the Horsemen, got kicked out of the Horsemen, and they basically teased about, well, we're looking at Barry Windham, blah blah blah. And Lex Luger and Barry Windham were tag team champions, and Barry Windham cost Lex Luger and Barry Windham the championship in themselves so he can join the Horsemen. And what if it's this ultimate swerve where it's like, well, we're playing you thinking like we're friends with Hangman, and then all in the end we're trying to recruit Kenny, and Kenny just ends up hitting the V trigger on Hangman, and then all of a sudden FTR walks out the champions and Kenny joins them.
I mean,
and he's their guy. What if it's Sean Spears and Kenny, and Kenny's the main eventer? Kenny's like their this version of Ric Flair, and he goes after the championship.
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
And because I think with the Horsemen and the Dark Order, just because the Dark Order, there will be a power struggle between him and Brody. But yeah, if they put him as the Ric Flair, holy crap, guys! I'm excited for All Out. Let's go.
Hey, Tony Khan, call me. I can book for you.
Well, like the whole thing is when Hangman closed that door, that mirror was broken.
Yeah.
That mirror was broken before that door closed. Somebody was there. He argued with somebody, and somebody broke that mirror before they left out. You know what I mean? So and him and Kenny they're being quiet. So I'm like, they had to argue. There's gonna be a play out. There's gonna be what happened behind that closed door will play out.
Again, like Kenny was nowhere last week on Dynamite. No promo, no match. Like, didn't even stop Adam from interrupting the Bucks. But again, that goes with what we mentioned earlier. Didn't appear when the Bucks kicked Adam out.
It's gonna be so good, guys.
Yeah,
it's gonna be so good.
Oh man. You know what happens with wrestling though? When you come up with something that you're like, man, this is really good, it ends up not being that. So,
but Kenny Omega has not disappointed.
yeah.
No.
He knows
Kenny-
how to write himself. He really does. All the video games and everything he's done has.
Yep.
I think for me, there's so many different directions. Anything makes sense. Like
Joe
you know,
says, what about an unknown person being the fourth?
I wouldn't put it past him. There's
Who's in-
I thought of that too. Mhm.
Who's an
Yeah.
unsigned talent
Hmm.
that's out there? Can't think of somebody right now.
what if they partner with Nick Aldis since they're doing the NWA AEW partnership? Thunder Rosa came out on. There was an article of Fightful
yeah.
that it was
That's a good choice.
Billy Corgan was the one who negotiated that, not Thunder
Yeah.
Rosa.
Yeah.
I really will get to Thunder Rosa.
I've been talking about
but-
Nick Aldis and Cody revisit this whole damn time. Like I
Oh
need
my
to revisit
gosh.
that. I
So
want that to
good.
happen
I
again.
said no belts,
Please.
just pride. That's I've been pushing that.
That's
Yeah,
no,
right.
exactly. They are
No.
exactly like I want them just to go at it. And if it's for that fourth spot and like whatever horseman or whatever happens, and Cody's gone for a while, and this guy just comes in and scoops up Arn and everybody, dude, I'm like out for it. Yes.
So Joe said Brock as the unknown fourth
Joe,
person.
go sit down. Big red Joe.
It's not gonna be Brock.
I'm
He's an F5 everybody.
I'm one of the
gosh,
biggest
no.
Brock Lesnar fan. I'm probably the biggest Brock Lesnar fan. I've paid super money to see that dude fight in the UFC and then wrestle at WrestleMania and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And when everybody craps on Brock, just on a quick tangent, I'm like, dude, you guys don't realize like how amazing of an athlete and wrestler he is. They've just not allowed. He's just not done what he used to do back during his first stint. Go watch
Yeah.
WrestleMania 19 and go see what he could do.
His first stint's amazing.
It's gonna be Cena, guys.
It's gonna be Cena.
So wait, it's gonna be nobody in the ring?
No.
It's
I
gonna
got
be-
someone.
it's
I
gonna
got,
be-
I got someone even better. It's gonna be Dean Ambrose.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
man.
It's Swerve. It's Dean Ambrose, guys.
What if it's Kenta? I'm coming for you, John.
Dude, if it's anybody from New Japan Pro Wrestling, I will record myself flipping something.
It's Kota
Like a
Ibushi.
table or something. Dude, don't even. Join
It's not gonna
us.
happen. It's not gonna happen.
Oh, okay. Anyways, we're getting into fantasy matches here.
Okay.
Cards.
Move on.
Speaking
We're
of
like-
fantasy
We went
matches,
completely off the rails on this.
Cara
We
had to
did-
get me with that. She had to do it.
Hey, Kota Ibushi is looking jacked just on that tangent.
Dude.
That dude is
Hiromo. Hiromo is no longer a junior, dude. That guy is going up.
Yeah.
That guy was
Oh.
getting jacked. He's getting like the what's his dude? Oh God, what's his name? It's when it draws Cap America. It can't draw feet.
Liefeld,
Liefeld.
Rob
Dude,
Liefeld.
Rob Liefeld. Rob Liefeld, baby. Got the boobs and everything. That chest is huge. Guy can't draw feet. Never mind.
Toro Yano did beat Okada. Watch him be.
Let's not talk about that. Go.
All right. Let's get back to actual AEW. So then Jericho cuts a promo talking about the Mimosa, whatever
Mayhem.
Mimosa
match that things.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a promo. It was
Yep.
Jericho doing this thing. There was nothing to add on to it. It's already a story. It's telling itself.
Yeah. So then we get to the this match really pissed me off.
Yeah.
Joey Janela versus Chris Jericho.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll let you guys talk about it.
I'll just say this real quick. I know AEW took a lot of fan favorites. Joey Janela is one of them.
Yeah.
And I became a Joey Janela fan in AEW. And I know you need to have low card talent, mid card talent, and main event talent. It just seems, in my opinion, though, that Joey Janela and then eventually at the end of the match, Sonny Kiss has a following. And especially after they got put together and they had those amazing vignettes, and we talked about this last Saturday. Why are you teasing this like you're gonna do a push with them, and then you just use them as cannon fodder?
Yep.
Joey Janela got very little to no offense in this match. Was literally fed to Jericho, and I just why not somebody else?
Yeah, it was disrespectful, I think.
Especially from like coming off of like a Leo Rush match in GCW and the things he's been doing there. I don't have much to say. I can't tell. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I just wasn't happy.
I'm getting tired of Sonny Kiss always being the person that just gets beat up. Like
Exactly. Thank you. Oh my
they
god.
they built him up to go for the TNT belt against Cody, and he had a good match.
Yep.
And then the week after that, Lance Archer just throws him around, and this week, Jericho just like beats him down like he's nobody. Like this.
Well,
this
Hager just grabbed him and just demolishes him. Like
Yeah.
it's like he can wrestle. He doesn't have to be set up for everything all the time.
Yeah,
You know, at least give him an offense.
Yeah, it was just
like he's just so talented, and I've been advocating for Sonny for months and months and months, and he deserves so much more than what he's given with AEW. Like the TNT Championship spot was great. Being put together with Joey Janela also gave them momentum too, but just with this match, I was like, why?
This is what I said.
Doesn't deserve this. Joey doesn't either. They both have huge followings.
Mm-hmm.
It's just sad for me that I saw people tweet, "Yay, Sonny," and I'm just like, why are we happy that they just got an appearance? You know, that's like, as you said, Carl, last Saturday, is this diversity or is it inclusion? If we're happy,
Yeah,
if we're happy
that's a good
just for an
point.
appearance, if we're happy for an appearance, that just seems really wrong. And it's like, and sooner or later, what's going to end up happening is people are just going to stop caring about these talents. And that's for me, it's like seeing, I don't know, like I'm trying to think of somebody, like let's say LeBron James, all of a sudden go from scoring a bunch of points, and all of a sudden you're happy because he hit a free throw.
Yeah.
And and that's a horrible comparison because LeBron James is, but I'm trying to think of another analogy.
We get you. We get you.
That's just my thing, is just like seeing them just be like, oh, they came out and got TV time, yay! And it's just no.
Yeah, like no, that's not helping.
Yeah.
And it's like that's what's kind of like always driving them to do these like cameos. That's why I feel like it feels like it's a movie cameo where it's like you're just winning over the views. You're just trying to get that what's it called? The fans are over like something.
Fan service.
Thank you. I'm like fan.
Yeah.
It's definitely fan service. But when Sonny comes from things when he teamed up with Dustin and looked amazing, when he was doing a solo thing on Dark, he was amazing. Like you said, Carl, when he was with doing the Joey thing, and then he did the Cody match. Mm-hmm. He doesn't need anybody really. But when he's with somebody, he just adds a little extra layer of finesse to it. I feel like even when he was with Dustin, it just looked good. And if he makes somebody else look good too, then I don't see how he's not a star. Like, you don't always get that.
But Joe brought up a good point too. Like, if you keep squashing your talent, then the next time you bring up Joey, like, how are we supposed to treat him like a star? You're just squashing them. And just last year, Joey was not happy with the way AEW was booking him, because they started booking him like this, and now they're doing it again. It's like Chris Jericho did not need a squash match before All Out. You could have just scrapped this match. Just give him his promo, and we could have moved on. And what we had after this was the Sammy promo.
I mean, I don't know how I feel about the match. I don't want. It's like almost like to the point where I don't want to see Matt get hurt. Because I don't know if he's like, I know he's like on Real Talk, I know he's like doing DDP yoga. I know his like walking's getting a little bit better, but like sometimes even BTE, it's like, okay, there's that limp. I don't want him to potentially get hurt and not be able to do anything in his character. DDP yoga's done amazing things for people. I don't know if he can get better and actually have in-ring time. I don't know how long this match is going to be. And that just makes me feel like we could have had a build up to something else for another match. We didn't have to have. Is this the rubber match for this? Would it be?
Yeah, but see, like, this is the other thing that they did with that Young Bucks match. As soon as they said the stipulation for the match is going to be, if Matt Hardy loses, he has to leave. Matt Hardy's not losing.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, okay, it's going to be an anything goes match. It's going to be, they're going to do their spots and all that stuff, but you kind of showed your hand on who's going to win at the end.
Yeah.
So.
The issue I have with this, it was very reminiscent to me of Kurt Angle, and it's just, you see it, and unfortunately, it's sad because he's 45 years old. You think about all the tables and ladders and chairs match they really had since 99, if I'm not mistaken. You think about the first one that the Hardy Boys had with Edge and Christian at No Mercy, and that's just tough. And I know it's hard to say goodbye to the ring as a talent and over a 20-year veteran, 30-year veteran. But when you have a wife and kids, you kind of have to think about, put that in perspective. And I remember before he left WWE, they're trying to see about transition to an agent because he had severe back and spinal issues, and I think he had to get surgery and the bones fused together and stuff like that. So, that's rough. That's not easy, and it is his. At the end of the day, it's his life, it's his body, it is what it is. But just as as a person, I'm concerned for his well-being.
Yeah. I mean, like, I would love to see him wrestle and be healthy. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, I'm worried. And then at the same time, it's like, once again, it's like, I want him to be in Dynamite. I want him to have these matches, but there's so much talent in the card. It's not utilized, or they're thrown together. And what we'll get to is a cluster of what is going on.
Well, and I'll say this real quick. If somebody says, well, look at Dustin Rhodes. He's 51, 6 years older. But look at Dustin Rhodes' body of work from the time he started wrestling. And
different dynamics. Different
WCW
dynamics.
Versus, to my knowledge, I don't think I've ever seen Dustin Rhodes in a ladder match. Maybe, I think once when he was the IC champion, but not the way that the Hardys and the Dudleys and Edge and Christian were doing during those times. Yeah. I mean, even as recently as 2017, the night before he came back to or 2 nights before he came back to WrestleMania 33 in Orlando, they had that ladder match with the Young Bucks in Ring of Honor, and then they turned around and had that ladder match at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, look at Foley. He's also younger than Dustin, and his body is, I don't know,
horrible. Yeah.
He's younger than Dustin?
Yeah, I thought he was like...
Foley is younger than Dustin, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought he was like 48 or something.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
48 or 49.
Yeah.
But he did so much hardcore stuff.
Oh,
no, he's 55.
He is?
Yeah. Oh.
But that's still young. If you think about it, really, that's young.
I mean, yeah, that is, considering. And once again, if you do, you can't do apples to apples because Dustin had his whole dynamic in wrestling so different, but I mean, God, the guy's like wine. He's perfect. So smooth, but it was.
Yeah.
And what did he say before that? Wrestling
he
back
said,
in the day, things got too extreme. Yeah, Joe was a wrestler, so he definitely was a tag team. I think. Believe me, correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, but I think you said you were a tag team back in the day. But we move on to whatever this was.
Yeah, this was
too long.
I was not a fan of the segment.
It was 2 parts. They came back from commercial, right? And they did a promo, and they were still in the ring.
I didn't even know if this was a promo. Was this supposed to be because what I remember was they all came out, and one by one, all the different factions come out, and they're starting to talk to each other, and then they start beating each other up, and then it goes to commercial break, and then they come back from commercial break because I went to the kitchen to get brownies that my roommate baked. When I came back, I know, but when I came back, people were fighting, and I'm like, wait, it's a match? Did they transition everyone into a match? Are we getting the Casino Battle Royal this early? Yeah. And then my friends were like, no, they're just still beating each other up. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it was there was people in the ring I didn't know. I couldn't even place them from dark.
Yeah.
It just was so haphazard.
The Butcher and Blade came out, and I'm like, when did they come out?
Yeah, Lucha Bros come out, and then like I said, you have Sean Spears looking like he's been tased in the face, a man in a daze. He doesn't know what he's doing. It was just so much going on, and I'm just like,
I'll say this. I think it started out fine. You had the match, you cut the promos, and I was all for it with Taz and then Jake the Snake, even though he said a line that wasn't correct. That I think it's supposed to be, I'm just a scroll trying to get a nut.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to be. He said it in a way that was completely wrong.
And it sounded horrible. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just like that guy.
He called them squirrels. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so... And then Eddie Kingston came out, and he started off very good with the promo, but then Tully came out, and I think from the minute that Tully came out, it just started going downhill from there.
Yeah.
And I mean, it literally could have just been, they finished talking and just bam, 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 and beat the crap out of each other, cut to commercial, and just come back commercial, and they're out of there.
Yeah.
But I mean, this went 5 minutes, and a commercial was way too long.
So Joe, guess his specialty, right? Yeah.
His tag team specialty. But he says that they were trying to get people excited for this match. But to me, it's like this is AEW doing WWE things. This is what
Yeah.
WWE does. Before a Royal, they always bring everybody. You don't need to have everybody out there, but they bring everybody out. They even had the dark people like just come in and get thrown out, and I was just like,
I felt like people were leaping from the
Wait, there were
crowd.
dark
Oh
They
my
were.
god, the guys
Yeah.
were just like,
Wait,
Only person I recognized was Serpentico, but there was a lot of people in there that I did not recognize.
dude,
I didn't know there were
some-
dark people. See, this is
Yeah.
what you should explain.
Yeah, and
Oh my
then like
God.
there was a guy that was like Jake something when Jake something crashed into the car in Impact yesterday. There was a
Yeah.
guy just twitching on the floor, and I'm just like, did you see that Impact bit? Because like that's what you're doing right now, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, it was over the top. It was too much. All I could do, like honestly, guys, all I was thinking during this time was looking at my watch, and I'm like, they better not give her 3 minutes. They better not give her
Yeah.
3 minutes.
Yeah,
Just
I
the
was
whole
worried-
time I'm thinking.
Like I was saying, like this better not cut into Thunder Rosa's time. Oh my gosh, Give
That's
the
where I
women
was
their
at.
time. Like if this segment happened the way it was, and then the Thunder Rosa match, which we'll get into next, was like 3 minutes long, I would have been like, Tony Khan, we got to talk.
yeah.
We need to sit down with y'all. We
Yeah.
need to
The
have some
Duchess would like to
Jesus.
talk to you.
Yep.
But yeah, that whole thing was just unnecessary, and it doesn't really get you excited for that match.
No.
I'm not really like. It just kind of annoyed me.
It went
Then,
like this to me, and then went straight back, went down.
Yeah.
I mean, I think literally if they would have just like if Eddie was able to cut his promo, and then just if you had those 12 guys, it's because it seemed like 12 guys,
Yeah.
and then just go into a rumble, and then it cut to commercial, it'd been like, well, let's see who's gonna win. But then it's just they did too much for too long.
Yeah, definitely. And before even we get to the match with Thunder Rosa, we get a Dark Order vignette, which wasn't too long.
No.
But it, I was already angry.
Mhm.
Like I was angry. But I mean, it was a good promo. I'm
Yeah,
just saying, I was angry already.
Yeah, it was a good promo, but like the transition to it was so confusing because they transitioned, if I remember correctly, from everyone like fighting
Yes.
to the
Yeah.
vignette. So I
Yes.
was also thinking, wait, so are we cutting away from this match immediately? Because in my mind, I still thought it was a match. And I'm like,
They should have came back
don't know.
from the. They should have came back from commercial to that
yeah,
vignette.
Yeah.
into the vignette. Mhm.
Yeah.
And this is the problem. It was that I mean, as far as the production is, they cut a commercial, an actual commercial break during Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb. Like we lost the picture in picture, and we had that. So why didn't you? That should have been during that brawl.
Mhm.
Then come back from commercial into that vignette, and then into the match.
Because we had that picture in picture for the brawl, and I was like, why is this still going on a picture in picture? We don't need to see this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess.
That's okay. Just
Yeah.
cleanse the
Also,
palate. Cleanse the palate. Put the next
Also,
one.
Tony Khan, more John Silver and Alex Reynolds, please.
Yes. Yes.
They are ratings.
So then we get to the match. I think that this shut up all the AEW naysayers because I've been going back and forth with a lot of them on Twitter that keep telling me that Thunder Rosa is overrated, that they don't need to bring people from the outside, that it's squashing their division. I'm like, it's not squashing the division. Thunder Rosa, just with this match that she had with Serena Deeb, she elevated what we've been seeing in AEW women's. I'm not sure how she got teamed up with Serena Deeb, but I think that she had some say so because they kind of had very good chemistry with each other.
Very good chemistry. And then
Yes.
if you notice, like JR and everybody was also selling her as a hard worker. This girl's putting in the work. They were saying that she's talented. She's keeping up with Thunder Rosa. Like
Mhm.
it's almost like they were told what to say about her too. Because
Right.
in no way did it wasn't a squash match. These girls put out a good hell of a match. It was almost 10 minutes long, just seconds away from being 10 minutes long, which is one of the longest women's matches we had in a very long time, besides outside of the tournament, the tag tournament. And it's just it was so refreshing. Yes.
Right. Yes. Such a nice surprise. Like
So good.
what-
So refreshing.
Mhm. Like what Jack was mentioning to the people who are like, oh well, they don't need to bring in Thunder Rosa, to AEW, or they didn't need to have this match. Like Thunder Rosa, she's from NWA and she's facing Hikaru Shida this Saturday. And you want to build her up. You want to introduce people to Thunder Rosa before her big match. And I think what they did tonight with her was great with that. So they bring her in, they let her do her thing with Serena for 10 minutes, and that gives people a reason to tune in. So they're gonna be like, oh, Thunder Rosa was great here. I'm definitely gonna buy All Out and tune into the women's championship match.
I mean,
Yeah.
low-key, Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone, they were selling it so much. It
So
literally
much.
Yep.
literally got to the point where they said it. This is the best women's match we've seen, and then they had to kind of go
Yep.
back and kind of add to say like in a long time or something. They
Yeah.
were trying to say because they almost buried their
Yeah.
entire division. And the other thing to anybody who says that, I mean, we put this perspective on Saturday. They have actually signed talent, 17 women, with
Yeah.
3 of them, Shayna, Shayna, Yuka, Emi Sakura, Riho, who can't travel. Chris Statlander's hurt. She was on High Spots yesterday doing a virtual signing. Who says she just started walking? She's not. So
Yeah.
if she just started walking, she's nowhere near coming back.
Wow.
So that takes us down to like 12 or 13 women, including Brandy Rhodes. Awesome Kong is also injured. So you have Abaddon, Ali, Anna Jay, Big Swole, Britt Baker, Sheeta,
Take
Leva
Conti.
Bates, Mel, Nyla Rose, Penelope Ford, and that's it. That's not. I mean, that's actually on the roster. That
Yeah,
shows
it's
up
on the
this side.
roster.
Right.
So that's not including any. But I mean, why wouldn't you do this?
But question also, how come they're not building on Allie? Why is Allie just a sidekick?
See, this is the weird thing is like during this whole Deadly Draw, it seemed like they were leaning to a Brandy versus Ali split and a feud, and then they went in a completely different direction with Anna Jay. And I don't know what their plan is, but I mean, Ali wrestled yesterday, and it sounds like on Dark, and they're just going forward that she's a part of the Nightmare family and she's a Nightmare sister. So who knows if they're gonna pick it up? I don't know if this has a lot to do with the feud with like the Dark Order versus the Nightmare family, which is why they did this. It seemed like there were some last minute adjustments.
Yeah.
Especially when you look at the with the Dark Order and Brody Lee going over and what happened. So not last minute justice in the sense of like Brody Lee going over, but just they basically killed off Cody Rhodes for a significant matter of time. So, which led to Brandy now seeming like she's gonna feud with Anna Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like Brandy has to insert herself into all these. She has so many storylines intertwined already. Like, stick with one. Like, why does she have to
See
put
it through
herself in everything?
more?
Yeah.
That's how I
Right.
feel like you need to see it through. And I really would have liked the Ali and payoff because we would have went
Yeah.
full circle from the
Mhm.
beginning, where they didn't like each other and it kind of got buried. And now it comes back to surface and she kind of gets, in her skin and they go back and forth. And I don't know, maybe it would have been a nice face turn for Brandy because she's acting very heelish. And then Ali goes back to being full heel because I was sympathizing more with Ali at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, and I would have appreciated that. I would have appreciated Brandy and Ali just kind of having a match and I would actually been there for it. But now I don't know what's going on.
And Allie was a star in Impact, and now she just seems like just another person in the roster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Good wrestler.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
but,
I mean, it's been that way for a while, though. I mean, you
Yeah.
think about that she was since the moment she signed with AEW, and then she had that loss to back at Fight for the Fallen or Fighter Fest at Daly's Place. I keep forgetting. I think it was Fight for the Fallen because it was at Daly's Place.
Yeah.
And then this kind of put her up. I'm willing to see it out because it is very intriguing. And yesterday on Dark, Brandy did cut a hell of a promo. Yesterday on, I mean, it made me very intrigued now with what's going to happen. And who knows, maybe they'll pick it up. Maybe Ali ends up turning on Brandy and say like, you cost us this, you're selfish and all you think about is yourself. And, it's one of those things, like I told, it's one of those, this is one, like it's not a hill I'm willing to die on. So
Yeah.
it makes COVID sense in my opinion.
But I agree with Mighty Miggs. Like, Brandy's strength is what she does outside of
exactly
the ring. She's a good advocate. She goes out there and she's like been a good face for being a branding officer. But it's just when she inserts herself into these storylines and she becomes like the center of attention that kind of drags everybody down with it, because it's like, not to be mean, she's not the best. She's a good promo, which she could be a manager or an agent or until she gets better. But in ring, she kind of like brings down the match stuff.
Yeah.
So
her storylines always end up with her having to have some in-ring contact. And if she doesn't want to that, she needs to stick to being a manager where she has her person do the in-ring. But yeah, I agree with that. But
yeah. Yeah, Thunder Rosa. You could tell there was parts where Thunder Rosa was helping Serena like figure out what to do next.
She was too loud. She's like, "Let's go, girl," and I'm just like, "You're fighting her." I was like, but it was like she was telling her the spots. It was cool.
Yeah.
I loved it. The girl was invested. I was there for it. But yeah.
But
those are two talents that they need to sign Serena Deeb.
Yeah,
15
they
years
need to.
Yeah.
She could do so much for the division. She could do so much for like getting everyone used to television and just honing everyone's skills. Like I would sign her
as an agent too.
Yeah,
she worked backstage with WWE, and I mean, to be honest, they have 12 women on the roster that's actually active. And that includes Brandy Rhodes. Like they need talent. They need female talent.
And let's just put it out there. They have the fans in there now. They've sold out so many toys. They're doing this heels thing. They're putting all this merch out. Y'all got the money.
Yeah.
Just run it to the women's division. Stop acting like they can't do it. Oh, everybody says that.
But you know, so that's not a negative though, because Stephanie was one of the best heels in WWE. And that's the thing, like, and she learned. And the thing is, the difference between Brandy and AEW versus what Stephanie debuted back in '99. Brandy's a hell of a talker.
Yeah.
She is a hell of a talker. She cuts good promos, both as a heel and as a face.
Yeah.
Stephanie I gotta give her credit though, man. That girl, she got some shoes that she walked in to get where she's at now. That girl has done a lot of dumb spots and bits to get where she's at and where she can claim that she's top dog.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and then
it took her years to get there though.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And the other thing about Stephanie, to be fair, she always put other talent over. She was there to put other talent over. Yeah. I mean, just even the Ronda Rousey match, like she got Ronda Rousey, like Ronda Rousey was already a huge thing, but then when she did that whole spot with Triple H and her, like it just elevated her stock. Everybody was cheering for her. So honestly, I would love for Brandy to be the Stephanie of AEW. So hopefully she can start putting some talent over. But we go to the Jon Moxley promo. I think Jon Moxley and MJF have said everything that needs to be said. They built this thing up so much. It feels like a big fight though. It feels like a big thing, and I think they're going to put on a hell of a match. I think him and MJF have been working on this, and I think it's going to be a good match.
It's going to be really interesting. I am looking forward to it.
And then we get into
the Big Swole promo.
So my problem with this is you've been working my last nerve for months and it's in the buy-in.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like ever since Britt Baker was like injured, or even before that, like we already know that she's one of the best parts of the AEW women's division. She can talk, she can wrestle, she can do so much. And even when she was injured, she was doing a lot of promo work and just having at it with Big Swole and other women on the roster. And to have something be built up for the entire summer, and then you're just gonna be on the buy-in.
Yeah.
So
like just put one of the tag matches on the buy-in. Put the Young Bucks and Jurassic Express match on the buy-in.
Just put all the mess with all those guys and whatever Royale. Get that to be the buy-in.
The Royale was the buy-in last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The women was the buy-in at All Out, and then at Double or Nothing, the men were the buy-in.
Yeah.
And I actually looked it up, and I'm pretty confident May 28th was Nyla Rose versus Big Swole. Big Swole lost that match, and then she was cutting a promo, and Britt Baker, had said something, and that's where it started at. So for over 3 months, as Gato said, the entire summer and longer, you've had this build up that we're gonna get this match eventually. And this is by far the longest storyline you've been working on. Yeah. Longer than MJF versus Moxley. And it's not on, and it's on the buy-in, which in my opinion, just from a PR standpoint, makes no sense. Because as we talked about, you're talking about diversity, inclusion, women's, having more opportunities for women. And this has been like this is the one you've been working for all summer, and you put it on there versus a match that you literally just came to fruition today, 72 hours before All Out, between Young Bucks and the Young Bucks and Jurassic Express. And as somebody said, well, women don't draw. It's like the pay-per-view's already sold. I mean, let's be realistic.
Oh yeah.
AEW, a pay-per-view sold on their two biggest matches, the tag match and Moxley versus MJF. In addition to that, AEW has a hardcore audience like us. That's why we're doing this. I already bought the pay-per-view yesterday as soon as I got paid. So I already bought the pay-per-view. It's already lock, stock, and barreled on BR Live, as many others probably already bought it. So having Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express isn't going to cause people to order the pay-per-view versus if you don't have them on the pay-per-view. And if anything, you could say that match will hype people up for the pay-per-view and could have more buys at the last minute. Potentially.
The Young Bucks will never be on the buy-in. They'll never put themselves in the buy-in.
You've had Swole and Britt Baker every single damn Dynamite coming out and doing some damn promo. They had them online. They were doing this stuff during even like it was at one point I think on a BTE spot. I think Swole had said something about Britt Baker. But it was every week. It was consistent as hell. It was one of the most consistent things that they had. There was no.
The only thing I could think of is that Britt Baker is not completely medically cleared, and that's why they're doing it a cinematic match in the dentist office. So there's probably going to be a lot of cuts. They're going to kind of do what Undertaker and AJ Styles did, but this could have been put in the main card too. You could have given us a cinematic match in the main card. Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel disappointed for the both of them. It's just one of those things.
Beth agrees with you, JR.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a disservice. They've worked hard. Britt Baker has worked hard, and it's not her fault what happened. They could have totally sold this in a different direction because you've put faith in them to sell it this far already. They just had to see them through. You walked them this far. All you had to do was let go and let them do it.
Yeah.
But instead you held them back.
And look at how much time they've invested in them compared to the other women.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
The entire roster, even the men.
Yeah.
I mean, when was MJF and Moxley wasn't announced after Fight for the Fallen?
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I mean, this has been going on for, over 3 months. I mean, all of June, all of July, all of August.
Yeah.
FTR, so basically the whole summer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because FTR, they were after, they were right around Fight for the Fallen too, right?
No, they debuted in June.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that,
they debuted on that same card as Nyla versus.
Yeah. It was after
Swole.
Double or Nothing.
But you can say they really weren't put in this position until the 8-man tag against, or whatever that massive tag they had on one of those cards. I keep getting Fight for the Fallen and Fyter Fest mixed up because they were close together. So, but that, basically summer's when they got put together because who knows what would have happened.
Yeah. So it's a huge disappointment. And everybody's been expressing it on Twitter, and you guys have all been expressing it here.
I'm just really gonna one of these days. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm gonna snap. If I hear one more time that women don't draw, then I'm just gonna say we'll cut the division then.
Yeah.
If you say women don't draw, then why have women then? Because that to me is the most. It's not fair to all women, all their talent, stuff like that, to say that. And the thing is, maybe they don't draw the same because you're not investing time into women. And this is for all women's wrestling, whether it's WWE, AEW. And if you look at, they don't draw, unfortunately they don't draw, period. But if you look at Impact's invest a lot of time in their women.
Mm-hmm.
And, whereas WWE on Raw, they invested 6 to 8 minutes on their women. So it's like, why should we care if you're not investing that time? I care more, like I already cared about Thunder Rosa versus Sheeta. I care even more now because of the match, that 10-minute match they had between Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb. So
Joe says they need to invest big money on a promotion for just women. Thunder Rosa's actually
Mission Pro Wrestling.
I said I hate saying this because it feels like it's a knock on all the men, but I was like, man, dude, after the Deonna Purrazzo's Black Tie celebration, I was like, hey, you should just get rid of men and just make Impact all women.
Yeah. There's people that were complaining about Deonna Purrazzo. They were saying like, they need to just give it to Tenille Dashwood. Deonna Purrazzo's not a good champion. I'm like, what are you talking about?
What?
Like
No.
That whole event was made because Deonna Purrazzo came off like this virtuosa and stuff. Like, I don't know. But yeah,
she came out like a star. She looked like a star. She had amazing star matches with Jordan Grace, both
Yep.
at Slammiversary and then Emergence.
And I can't wait for that Kylie Ray match
It
against
was
her.
perfect when she told Tennille that we can't just come in here and ask for a match. But you did the exact same thing. It was so cleverly put. I loved everything last night. It was just perfect between the ladies. But what do we got left? We got the Mox match, right?
Yeah, we got this thing. Why like Thunder Rosa was the most talked about thing, at least on Twitter. So I don't know real world because Twitter doesn't result to the real world. So why did we get a squash match as the main event?
That's what I was saying. Like, put this in the middle of the show. Probably it would have been better fit there. But like, it doesn't make sense
because of the.
Doesn't make sense.
That's the only reason why you have the World Championship match, that you're selling and because of the ending, and I saw this coming from a mile away. I knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I had even put in my predictions on WrestleJoy that MJF was gonna get the last lap before All Out, and that's what happened. Was I thought it was. Oh, I'll say this here. I don't want to put it on Twitter because everybody is gonna say something. But
your Twitter handle's right there, JR.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, Mark Sterling looks like Jim Cornette from Memphis Wrestling.
No.
If you, he did. He looked like a cross between Jim Cornette and John Laurinaitis when he did.
Shut up. Go.
He did. He looked. They had him dressed perfectly, like a guy who doesn't belong in wrestling. I mean, they try to say. I know Jim Ross said like, oh, he's trying. Moxie did him like, gonna give him a free punch like, when Andy Kaufman did Jerry Lawler. I was like, he should have dressed like Andy Kaufman because he looks like Laurinaitis and Cornette.
Dude, he should have dressed like Andy Kaufman. I would have been there for that. I'd have been like,
you needed. There were thermals and shorts. That's what
he was fully clothed. That boy had nothing hiding, dude. Everything was clothed.
And it's what set up. It was a squash match, and it was just for Wardlow to come and beat him up. And then I knew that was going to happen. That MJF was going to come out, take off everything, and just pummel him. And to get it's always weird because it's like, is this foreshadowing or is this like, well, you're going to get your just desserts at All Out?
Yeah.
But I'm just salty. Because
oh my god,
I want more for the women. That's all. So I'm just like,
if Sheeta would have came out, then I could justify
they could have done that. They could have. I mean, look at how much promo time they gave MJF and Moxley. Sheeta should have came out at the end of that match.
Hit her with a kendo stick.
Yeah,
look how much time they gave that battle royal.
Yeah, so it's like we don't even see the champion on the go home show
again for weeks.
Yeah,
that's
weeks. What was confusing me too, because like she does your champion, like maybe she could have had some spot during the Thunder Rosa match, or she comes out afterwards and like I don't know, just talks to her or something, or at least come out at the end of the show. It's just so confusing.
Maybe watch the match. Let's pull one of those old cards and watch the contender, see what she's worth. Like let's just do the easy thing. Here comes Kushida to sit, commentator side to watch the Thunder Rosa match.
It almost makes me want Thunder Rosa to win the title on Saturday.
I want her to win so hard. And then this is like, I love Sheeta. I love what she did to the title during the time period everything happened. It needed it to be elevated. She did a good job. But for crying out loud, if Thunder Rosa doesn't win, I don't know what I'm going to say. Like, I will give it like 2 to 3 weeks to see what they're going to build up as far as the card and development of the next women's division or what they're going to go with it. But if she doesn't win, I'm going to be so disappointed. If we go back to 3-minute matches after this 10-minute, I'm going to be.
No. That's like my nightmare.
It's such a bad nightmare. No. And it's going to be a reality.
Like literally what they did this week, just do that every week.
Yes.
Give the women like 10 minutes. Give them star power. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, we had a small promo. We had Big Swole, Baker. Small promo, 1 good match. If you don't want to do 2 matches, small promo, 1 good match. It's not so hard. Not so hard. It's equation.
And also don't have it at like, because I don't know if y'all caught on to this too, but like they've consistently done the women's segment like in the second hour. Maybe mix it up, put it in the first hour or something,
Yeah.
All right, so let's wrap this up real quick. We're going to go through all-out predictions, and this is not who you want to win, but who you think is going to win.
Okay.
So we're gonna start off with the Jurassic Express versus the Young Bucks.
The Young Bucks.
I don't see how Young Bucks don't win. Oh, you know what? I take that back. I think Jurassic Express will win, and the reason why, because I think this could facilitate a storyline with the Young Bucks.
Okay.
Okay.
It makes more sense to build up Jurassic Express, and I'm saying this because I think them getting the win will mean more for AEW, and I think that's the direction they go. And by Young Bucks being upset and being pissed off, it will play into that storyline more.
I like that.
I agree with you. Big Swole and Dr. Britt Baker.
Swole. I'm gonna go with Swole.
Okay.
I'm also gonna go with Swole.
Yeah.
Just because of like after everything that's been going on this summer, Britt Baker's always had the upper hand against Swole, and I think it's time for her to finally like just, you know, get the win over Baker finally. So I'm going with Swole.
Yeah, I mean, I think Britt Baker has gotten the best of Swole out of this 3 months, and I think Swole's gonna get her win.
I'm gonna be the only one that doesn't agree with you guys on this one. I think Britt Baker's gonna win. They're in her office, and I think she's gonna have some outside interference.
She's gonna pull the ice outside tank.
So we have one.
Laughing at her.
We have one for the Bucks. We got Baker. We got Bucks. We got Swole.
That was Bucks lose.
Yeah.
What does it say? Turn further and heels.
Yeah. I that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara.
Matt Hardy is going to win. I don't see him not winning.
What if Sammy wins and Matt Hardy?
I actually have Sammy for this match.
Really? But Matt Hardy
do.
leaves if he loses.
Matt Hardy,
See,
but
like,
not one of his other
yes.
entities.
This is what I was getting at. So I was talking with my friends, and I came up with this theory. So Matthew Hardy leads WWE, not WWE. I'm sorry.
He already did.
It has been a long week in wrestling. Don't mind me.
Yes.
But Matthew Hardy leaves AEW, but not broken Matt Hardy.
Or Damascus.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty broken for real, though. Seriously.
JR?
JR? Yeah.
This one's a tough one because it depends on the direction they plan on going with Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
I can go either way. Like, I seriously could see him becoming a manager and not wrestling, so I can see Sammy wins.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with Matt Hardy because it's his match. It's a Broken Rules match,
Mhm.
and it's like you can't lose your own match.
Yeah. I think Matt Hardy wins because Sammy won the tables match, so I don't think they'll have Matt lose twice to Sammy like that. But then the 21-man casino battle royale. Everybody's sighing.
So this is
I have a person who I want to win, but it's different than who I think is going to win.
This is the problem I have with this type of battle royale. You don't know when they're gonna get their title shot. You don't know who all the contestants are, and you don't know if they have any surprise entrances. If this sets up a match at Full Gear, and I'm just like, well, shit, I could see like maybe Lance Archer winning.
Yeah.
But if it's just like a regular title match that they're gonna put on, on Dynamite, then I'm like, well, I think Ray Phoenix could win possibly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like because then you're looking for not a rivalry, you're looking for a good match that's gonna pop a rating.
I don't know.
It's a tough one.
I'm gonna go with Wardlow. He wasn't announced. I'm gonna say Wardlow. That's gonna be like my wild card out of nowhere. Dark Wardlow.
And if MJF wins,
Oh, that's a tough bet. Oh, okay.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I feel like the obvious one is Darby because he's been so vigilant. Like he's been so out there. They've been pushing him a lot and kind of forcing us to still say that he's there and doing his thing. I would like one of the Lucha Bros to win. That's my spot. Either Pentagon or Phoenix, I think, could put a really good match on to whatever it takes place. So I would like one of the Lucha Bros to win. I have a feeling it's Darby.
I think it's going to be Eddie Kingston. He's going to use the alliance he did, and he's going to betray them at the end, and he's going to end up being the winner.
I'm on the same page as Jack. I also want Eddie Kingston to win. Like, who I think is going to win is like Darby, Lance, either one of those two, because they're obvious ones. But my wish is Eddie Kingston, because Eddie versus Mox.
Amazing.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go like WB Hill Natcher. No, I changed my mind. That's my pick. No. That's what I had.
Because like if you think about it, Eddie Kingston right away went and grabbed 4 people. Yeah. Like he bettered his odds. It's a 21-man battle royale. So now you have 4 people. Wardlow spicy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Kingston outsmarts everybody, and
I like this, but who really cares?
I actually like I like crazy matches. I like battle royals, Survivor Series elimination battle royals.
Yeah, I just want it to be done good. So I hope, like, despite the craziness we have been seeing, that it does deliver a good match. You know what I mean? Just like be entertaining, do what it needs to be done. So that would be definitely cool. So
AEW Women's Championship: Hikaru Shida versus Thunder Rosa.
Thunder Rosa. Oh, I want her to win so hard.
I want her to win, but I think Shida's gonna retain.
Yeah.
But I really want Thunder Rosa to win because it'd be so amazing. Open so many doors to future matches. Keith, think of the possibilities.
The possibilities are so stacked.
I'm gonna tell you one. I think a storyline that hasn't been picked up recently. I'm gonna go with Thunder Rosa because I could see Thunder Rosa possibly being a face. Because I don't think like there's a heel face in this match. I think I think it's more of like these are 2 great champions.
Yeah.
I could see her being a face, and then her first feud is going to be with Nyla Rose.
Oh,
with Vicky.
I just feel like
they need to use Vicky. They do need to use Vicky.
The setup to that is Thunder Rosa is going to be like, you needed me to elevate this division.
Yeah.
I came in here and made the AEW's division and bring in
Tony
Mrs.
Khan.
Guerrero. Mrs. Guerrero comes in with Nyla and say, "Excuse me, like I was here before you. We were champion before you. Like it's a great setup, but she needs to have attitude. She needs to bring that attitude.
Yeah.
She defines the division.
Thunder can bring it. I see. I'm so conflicted because I really want Thunder Rosa to win. But I could see what Caro said that they would AEW let Shida just lose. But then I'm also like, well, NWA want their women's champion to lose.
No, that's always the issue with like this is going back to the 80s when they had these super matches. You never want your champion to lose.
Yeah, so I think AEW realizes that their woman is lacking, and Shida has been kind of partially because of booking and partially because of language barriers and all that. She hasn't really put herself over. So I could see what you guys are saying, where because Vicky Guerrero is just there, they haven't done anything with her, and it would be great, like you said, Maria, where Thunder Rosa's like, yeah, that's right, you had to. I'm the real champion. I had to elevate this.
Well, when
and
she
then
was
you get the excuse me.
She had said she was like, "Oh no, we're not. This is not what we're here for." Like they literally said that in the tag tournament. They're like, "Nah." You know what I mean? Her and Vicky. So it's just like, it was like that's not their focus. So their focus when she wins could be that. But I'm sorry, an AEW Thunder Rosa championship toy, give it to me.
That won't happen. We'll probably get like 3 more.
Face? I mean, I'm sorry.
No, it'll
We're
come
gonna
in
get 3 more
it'll
brand
come in
brands.
Series 12.
It doesn't matter. I just need it though.
12 in 2025.
I just don't see this as a one-off.
Huh?
I don't see this as a one-off because with the way everything happening, like this is the other thing too, and this is I'll try to say as quickly as possible. In this pandemic, the unknown, we don't know how long we're gonna stay in this.
Yeah.
And I think by having the NWA part of AEW is building up the NWA brand to when they eventually come back, it's gonna help them out tremendously. Yeah. So, and I know Thunder Rosa has a match on September 15th. It's entirely possible. You can have her match on September 15th, and you can have her continue working on these it's called United Wrestling Network that Dave Marquez, who works at NWA, does. It just, I think it means more for AEW and it means more for NWA to have Thunder Rosa because it builds up NWA. It allows for new rivalries with Thunder Rosa to go through a Nyla, a Penelope Ford, and then have a rematch down the road with Shida.
Yeah.
And too, because of
Yeah.
COVID, maybe Sheeta wants to go home. Maybe
Yeah.
that COVID is messing up everybody's like living situations, and
Yeah.
that's one of the things like
Yeah.
you don't know what's happening, like with everything, because maybe this person's not here this week. Like maybe Sheeta wasn't here because of travel issues or something like that. Who knows?
Yeah, because she does have her acting career, and I think theaters are opening up back in Japan.
Yeah.
So maybe she's kind of like, yeah, you know what? I need to leave. I need to drop this belt. Who better to drop the belt to than Thunder Rosa? That would automatically elevate your division. Will give you a good Nyla rivalry. Will possibly give you more rivalries coming from,
Mission
know,
Pro Wrestling.
yeah,
Like,
and that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Holiday. Can we bring Holiday into AEW for like
Oh
a show,
man,
please?
Oh,
And I
yes!
think
I'm just
travel
saying.
to I think travel
good.
to Japan is open. Like travel to Japan is, I think, is very close to being like opening up. I think
Wow.
for
It's
people
just,
to go back.
it's just the scary point of like, will you be able to come back
Yeah.
if something
Yeah.
takes off? You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the scary part. Because we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen in a month or two when flu season comes around. I hope everybody. I don't know. It, like you said, it's we can say all these things, and they probably have ideas too, and then the unpredictable happens. Like JR said, it's a really good point. Very valid point.
That's why I always say like I get passes because it's just this is such a crazy year. It's a crapshoot. You just never know.
Yeah.
All right, so the AEW Tag Team Championship: Kenny Omega and Adam Page versus FTR.
FTR.
I don't see how
FTR.
I don't see how they don't win.
I'm
They
ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the chaos to happen and everything to fall apart.
I want everybody to be destroyed by Kenny Omega.
I am so excited. And I say this with love because Kenny's one of my favorites. But I want FTR to just beat them up badly.
Yeah.
I think the other thing too is that we need to get back to Kenny and Hangman having a singles run.
Mhm.
Because they, as great as they've been as a tag team, they have been, and you cannot deny that I think they've been the tag team of 2020. They're single stars, and this allows for the tag team division to get back on track.
Yeah.
Tag teams holding the belts.
I think FTR wins with a Young Bucks interference.
Interesting.
I think it's the end of the Elite, at least for now.
Yeah.
I'm getting like so excited about this.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be fire though. Like all I know is that match is gonna be one of the most entertaining, biggest matches of the night.
I'm gonna have oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, especially if the Young Bucks lose, they're gonna be extra angry, extra salty. Take out the Elite.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna have like a box of Kleenex on the side when I'm watching this match.
Get that ice cream ready.
Yeah, get like the Ben and Jerry's stuff.
I'm so evil. I'm gonna be like, hit him with the knee, Kenny. Just like every time he hits somebody, I'm gonna be cheering.
Yes.
Twitter is gonna be a hot mess come Saturday night.
I know. I'm so excited.
What if Kenny and the Young Bucks are evil, and they all turn on Hangman and just like beat him up, leave him in there? FTR gets the easy win, and
no, I don't think Bucks are going to be evil for a while. I think they're going to talk to Hangman. I think they're going to actually talk that out. But I don't think there's going to be like an Elite. I think it's just going to be they're going to understand and they're going to realize Kenny has issues and Kenny's gone. Kenny's no longer Kenny.
Man, you have so many heel teams. Like, how many more heel teams can you get? Like, you're gonna end up with like Private Party and Jurassic Express as your own heel teams.
All of
that's
it.
true.
Right.
Yeah, we are getting a lot of heels.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think the Bucks. I think the Bucks are looking because they're pissed, and that's all warranted. That's that's what happens. But I think they're going to come to their senses in the next week or two, and after Hangman comes, and it's going to be that transition to a bigger baby face for both of the groups. I think. I don't see them going heel.
Yeah,
they can't go heel.
Yeah, it would be too many heels.
Yeah.
You're right.
But,
as much as I would like for the Elite to just burn it all down.
No, they're not.
Yeah. So then we go to the Mimosa Mayhem match: Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy.
Cassidy. I want
Yeah.
to win. Yeah.
I have Orange Cassidy. And the reason why is because of that stipulation of pinfall, submission, or throw them into giant fat mimosas.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
that's why they put that in there so Jericho doesn't lose cleanly.
I think Orange wins and Jericho leaves for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I think he's as great as he's been with his promos and stuff. The last couple of months, he's kind of like been a little bit on the stale side. So I think maybe he just needs to take some time and rethink his character and refresh himself. And
man, dude, he is looking super thick.
Bro, put the taco down.
And the thing is, like, and I'm concerned because obviously during the pandemic, like everybody's, so people put COVID weight. I'm not body shaming him. I'm just like, I'm concerned. I'm like, bro, that's not healthy. Like,
yo, real talk. Yeah, no,
I'm just, it's not, putting on. Because he looks a lot more thick than before COVID hit, and I'm just like, bro, like, you need to like get your health checked out. Like, you're an older man. It's not good to have extra weight, especially the career he had. I'm telling you, that's why I work out, because I got bad knees. I can't be having all the extra weight on.
Yeah, his face too just looks so bad. Like, I don't think this match is going to go on too long either, because I don't think he has the cardio for it.
No. We get into, let's go to.
What was his last serious match? Boxley? At Revolution?
Yeah, because
I would say that would be, yeah. It's been a while.
That's February.
February 29th.
So main event, Jon Moxley versus MJF.
Hey, you forgot one. You forgot Dark Order versus Matt Cardona and Scorpio Sky and the Natural Nightmares.
Oh.
You forgot about the match that we didn't know was going to happen.
Yeah. I don't think the Dark Order wins.
The Dark Order is going to win. They have to win this one. I don't know.
Who let him be on here?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
It's a show.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, but you know what though? With Matt there, I don't see them letting Matt lose though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dark Order loses.
I think they're gonna build him up like we've been talking before to go after Brody Lee for the belt. So I don't know. Yeah.
Possibly.
They're pushing like 3 shirts from this guy already, man. He got more shirts than the Dark Order does.
AEW is a
Dark Order has a lot of shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but I like the ones that you really, really want. Like we want some like creative ones, like with funnier things like Silver and
like
a whole line.
Mr. Kool-Aid.
Yes, I swear to God, that needs to be a shirt.
We're gonna make it on the down, on the down low.
No, we're not. We're not. No, man. This guess is court of law. What are you doing? As your lawyer, I advise you.
Yes, we're not.
Yeah, sure. We're just gonna do it from the what is it below the collar store?
That'd be crazy if John Silver pins Dustin on this match.
He's not in it.
No.
It's Evil Uno. It's Evil Uno, Stu Grayson, Cole Cabana, and Brody Lee. With John Silver, take out Uno and put in John Silver.
Oh.
Uno is a better manager in AEW than he's been a wrestler. He's good mouthpiece.
Yeah, they're losing because Silver's not in it. So there you go. Dark Order loses.
I think I can see it both ways. I think it depends on if Cody's involved. I feel like if it's so weird because like it's what's gonna happen. I think that's the thing with this All Out. Like anything could happen at this All Out.
Yeah.
And so I think Dark Order.
I don't know. Now
QT, they're gonna do my boy QT wrong. I think they're gonna have QT get the pin. That's gonna be messed up.
Yeah. Screw finish. Yeah.
Yep. Got like 30 members.
Always Dark Order. Always Dark Order.
So then we finally get into the AEW Championship, Mox versus MJF.
Mox is gonna win. And this is like, again, I'm super biased with Mox always, but when I'm thinking about it, I don't think Mox is going to lose to MJF in a storyline that's been built up for a month. I think when Mox is going to lose the title, as credible of an opponent as MJF is, as amazing as a heel that MJF has been with his like election gimmick and the promos that he's been pulling for the past month, I think Mox is just going to lose someone in the future that's more long term than MJF has.
We get another Brock Lesnar prediction here.
Oh my god, Brock.
Yeah, I mean, I can do a suspension of disbelief and say they want to keep Mox with the title until we have like at least more fans, or change maybe like to a different type of arena venues type of setup thing. I don't know. I also think that it would be entertaining to see Mox and the Chase again. Could get a rematch. I don't know.
I think Moxley wins only because Kenny Omega's turning heel, so you want a babyface champion. So
I'm going with MJF. I think MJF is going to be the shot in the arm that's going to help them with, get over that million ratings. I think the money's with the heel. Moxley's been champion. I think it's just kind of been like this.
Mhm.
And I think with MJF champion, it'll go up. And especially as you look at this new season, and that's the reason why I picked Wardlow, because I think eventually it could lead to Wardlow versus MJF and make Wardlow a babyface. And my prediction is like, this is very reminiscent of Shawn Michaels versus Diesel back in way back in the day.
Yeah, I just kind of
was in first grade.
I was just kind of hoping that last year's Full Gear was Moxley versus Kenny Omega, and Kenny Omega never really recovered after that match. He's kind of like been stumbling. So I feel that if Kenny does completely turn the cleaner, he challenges for the belt at Full Gear.
That is exactly my prediction.
I think that's too soon. I think that's way too soon.
Because, like, after this month, September, October, November. If not at Full Gear, possibly at Revolution. I don't know. But, like, to me, like, the reason why I'm going that way is if you look at Kenny's Twitter, his pinned tweet from the night after Full Gear is still up. It's been up for months. It's been there since November. And I can't think of, I don't know, any other reason why he would still have that pinned after so many months, aside from the fact that he's still not over Jon Moxley. And I would want Mox to retain this week just so that rivalry can be revisited again. Granted that I would not object to an MJF title reign, because I think seeing MJF with a title would be very interesting, and I wouldn't be mad if Mox lost either,
Yeah.
I think so my reasoning behind that is for the same thing. He has that tweet pinned, right? But I think for a different reason. I think the MJF wins the belt. When they build up, MJF fights a couple people in Dynamite for the belt. He doesn't lose, he retains. He's going to go for the re-challenge. Mox is going to be at Full Gear, but it's interrupted by Kenny Omega because he's not over because of that. And that leads them to having a match, because I don't think Kenny wants the belt off the bat. So that leads up to a Kenny Omega Mox match at Revolution. Like a huge ass match. Like, you know what I mean? That's why I feel like Kenny doesn't want the belt. I feel like it's all about revenge on Moxley and screwing up his chances to get the belt back.
Yeah, I could see
I
MJF
really hope
winning
live
too.
shows are open and safe again by
Oh
then.
God,
'cause
I know, right?
I would travel for that. But anyway, go on.
Wait, what you were saying, Maria, that if Moxley and Kenny go for no belt, then it would make sense then with
Good
the whole MJF
storyline,
thing.
and that's what Kenny is about. He doesn't need a belt to do a storyline, and that's why I feel like that would be a great challenge for both of them, and even to revisit some things down the line where maybe when the belt becomes an interest to Kenny, then Mox comes and screws it up because they have this bad blood, and so they finally like dish it out. You know what I mean? I think that's going to be something that's bothering them for a very long time that we haven't seen, but I could see it going back to Full Gear and that lights out match and having something that Kenny Omega comes in and screws over Mox real hard.
What worries me though with MJF winning, that means that Cody will somehow be inserted into the title picture.
I have like this.
I don't see that happening for
like
a long
whole
time.
thing I planned out. See, I had this whole like 2-year thing planned out where like MJF is the reason why Cody's able to get a title shot, and it's gonna be like MJF, the champion, versus Cody's career.
Mm-hmm.
But this whole pandemic threw everything. And that's the crazy thing is everything you guys had said right now makes complete sense. Like Moxley retains, Kenny gets a match at Full Gear for the 1-year anniversary, or Kenny costs Moxley the match. Like there's so many different directions like going. I can see 30 different things happening.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is it's going to be interesting. And I hope that the world stays a little bit on the narrow path so that things could play out for us. So we can continue to enjoy what AEW hands us as storylines. That's just me being, I'm evil. If I was a character, I'm just a jaded person. I would be that person. Like, I'm going to mess you up when you least expect it. Let it slow build. I'm that person. So I would
Yep.
love to see Kenny Omega. If Kenny Omega does that, I'm gonna like totally mark out. I'm sorry. I would be like,
whatever's gonna happen Saturday, I'm just gonna say that the storylines and the promotion are just not going to be the same again after Saturday. I think
Yeah.
something big is going to happen.
Yeah.
Something incredible is just going to, just blow up in their faces, especially AEW letting in socially distanced audiences back into Daly's place. Like finally they have like a
The
crowd.
energy.
I mean, it's not an arena full of 15,000 people like the Winchester Arena Revolution, but there is a crowd there.
yeah,
And I think they can really feed off of that energy finally and just make All Out a really amazing show.
The only thing that I think will continue is potentially Cody and the Dark Order. But everything else is going to completely change after Saturday.
yeah.
The who's in the world title picture, who's in the tag team picture, the women's division. I think everything is going to change completely after Saturday, and that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yep. So we will be here after All Out.
Yeah, and you guys, open invitation. We'll
Yep.
be here to squeal and scream. Hit computer screens. I don't know.
Celebrate Thunder Rosa.
Celebrate Thunder Rosa. I'll be throwing
Crossing
flowers
fingers.
everywhere.
If
Not
Thunder
even
Rosa wins,
candle.
I may bust out tequila if Thunder Rosa wins, and I don't normally drink tequila.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
planning on
Oh,
busting
man,
out.
yeah.
I'm planning on busting out like the tequila if Kenny turns completely.
Just gonna have the
There's
one.
there's gonna be tequila, man. I'll
No,
bring
I'm
out
just
a
gonna have tequila
mezcal to change it
everywhere
up.
in the house.
Dude, I'm gonna light a candle, dude. I'm gonna pray to somebody if Thunder Rosa. I'm gonna get that candle out, dude. I'm gonna pray to somebody. I'm being like, thank you.
Beth says Saturday's gonna be explosive. It is, and we have all that tequila and candles.
I'm gonna stick with bourbon. I say tequila, but I'm gonna stick with bourbon. I mean, tequila. We had a bad night one time. Had to do it. Was actually mezcal. I ate the worm. It was just.
I love
Oh,
mezcal.
Yeah.
no, JR, no.
Thank you. We'll be here
Thank
Saturday.
you. We'll be here. Tune back
Thanks
in.
so much.
Definitely, guys, get involved again. Thank you for guys for interacting.
you.
It always makes
It
it
is
more fun.
always a pleasure talking to you three.
Celebrate.
Celebration Truck Wrestling shows up. Yes, I'm with you.
Go to sleep, Derek. Go to sleep.
Okay.
All right, guys. So
All right, guys.
I'm gonna end the show the best way I can.